Hey, everybody, welcome to the Art of Relationship Show. During this episode, we're going to be talking about would you do anything for love? And this is, of course, related to, Vicky White helping the murderer get out of prison and taking her own life, okay, or assumed, okay. So what have you done in the past? What would you do that I would do anything for love? And I hear this all the time in my office. Greg, I'll do anything to make her happy, to keep her. I'll do anything to, make him so thrilled and excited. Greg, I'll do anything to keep me. Now, I'm going to give you some tips right after this. So don't go anywhere with the Art of Relationship Show right here. Peace. Be right back. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Art of Relationship Show. Yes, I am a real licensed professional counselor, relationship and sex specialist in the state of Michigan. You can actually look up my license, if you will, with the state of Michigan. I'm not the fly by night, just, I'm going to call myself a coach with no training. I have a lot of training, graduate degree, beyond a graduate degree, in this field. Okay. And I'm not bragging. I'm just stating, no, I'm very humble, right? And I appreciate everybody reaching out, supporting the show. And of course, to my clients out there, I'm very, very humbled and flattered to be a part of, healing their broken hearts, or trying to. So I had a lot of people look at me, maybe clients come in, Greg, you don't look like a professional at all. I have tattoos, whatever. I'm wearing like a tank or a t-shirt right now, jeans, whatever. What does a professional look like, right? And this, will segue into, what would you do for your love, for a relationship, to have your heart feel fulfilled? And what is the definition of love? And I talked about that a couple weeks ago, I believe, on, what is love? And it's defined by individuals, but what is not love? And we could look at, if someone wants you to take their own life, take your own life, to sell out the essence of who you are and to possibly get you in trouble, to put you in harm's way, I would consider that not being love. And there's a lot of manipulation, a lot of play that goes in the take. And we know what happened, with Vicky White, and maybe allowing herself, maybe she was unhappy, we have no idea, and I'm sure they're going to dig into that situation. What have you done for the sake of love? And there's a lot of people out there that will get into the situation where they'll say, oh, you know what, I want my ride or die partner, I want my ride or die man, my ride or die woman, no matter what, she'd go to prison for me, he'd go to prison for me. And I'm like, what? You would want me to go to prison for you? Really? Is that love, or is that part of manipulation and, sort of a guilt trip, that type of situation? I'm all for love. People know that. I'm all for, healing broken hearts from betrayal, abuse, traumas from, cheating on one another, that type of situation. I'm all about healing that, but it comes down to a situation, what you would do and why. And sometimes, it's that euphoric feeling, love. And I tell people that's how I define it. Love is a feeling, right? We do crazy things for love. We change maybe who we are, our identity, how we roll for the sake of being loved, to be cherished, to be craved, to be desired, those type of situations. But is it really love when we start selling ourselves out? If we start helping someone break out of prison, if we help somebody, maybe dealing a bunch of drugs or whatever, and there's, TV shows, Netflix series out there, how many people, man, I want someone that would do that for me. But would that person, if they really loved you, would they want you to do that for them? Again, what is the difference in your eyes about love and being loved and being loyal to your partner, and your partner being loyal to them? And this is a very delicate balance, right? Because a lot of people have been in very traumatic, very abusive situations. There have been people, women and men, that have been in jail to take the hit from their partner and what their partner has done, right? There could be a domestic violence situation and then one partner, oh, it's not his fault. I started it, right? He hit me because I started it. So I'm going to go to jail instead of him. Or, same thing with him. I'm going to be a man. I'm going to man up and I'm going to go spend the night in jail for her. And you look at it, what would you do? And there's a difference, maybe a night in jail versus years in prison, that type of situation, right? And what creates people to be in these maybe toxic situations, right? That would be my word for it, is maybe unhealthy, toxic situation. Any situation when you start selling yourself out and you're doing stuff that is unhealthy for you, that can cause harm for yourself, maybe harm for others as well, might be a good good identity to go with. Okay. So you look at, you know, people that do these situations, and there's men, there's women, and believe it or not, there is how can we say this? There's a percentage out there, there's a stat out there that women that are in jail, that are in prison, 75% of them are in jail or prison because of a partner. Get me? 75 to 80% of women that are in jail and prisons are there because of a partner. Either their partner pissed them off that much that they had, assault and battery charges against them, attempted murder charges. They tried to kill somebody else that wanted their partner, their man, their woman, same sex relationships. So it's looking at, what would you do and where is our head? And in my thumbnail on YouTube, you can see it. I'm going like, oh my God, what would you do in those situations if you got that pissed off that you start selling out yourself for the sake of love? You know what? I'm loyal. I want someone loyal too. I want someone to kill for me. And you're like, what the hell? I would not want someone to kill for me, right? I would have a lot more respect for my person, my partner, if she, whatever, would not do that for me, because I would hope that I would love her enough to be able to say, you know what, you get out of here. This is my situation. Excuse me, that you have no role in it doesn't mean I don't love you. I want you safe. I want you to protect yourself. And you know what, I got myself in this situation. You know what, this has nothing to do with you. So I would love that person enough and have that maybe respect. Let's face it, that respect for that person, that we're not going to be in that situation. And they'll beg you, right? Oh, please let me help. Please let me help. How many people have been in that situation to where maybe drunk driving? Okay. We could go on and on and on, drunk driving, that, oh, you hurry up. Let me slide in the driver's seat because I haven't been drinking, or I'm not that bad. We have done stupid stuff out of love, out of, maybe wanting to be desired, wanting to be loved from a person, wanting to be admired, or, we're hoping that one time that click, because that power of love and that in love feeling is so euphoric with the dopamine, the, endorphins kick and all that stuff. And we want that high. And we feel like if we lose that, we're going to lose our own life. We're going to lose our own happiness. And do we have happiness, a sense of, let's face it, our own identity outside of that person, like, Vicky White did? And, we'll get into Casey, those situations, but I want you to be able to look at, what are you doing? What is the hook of people in this relationship? And maybe I can ask, the viewers out there, the listeners, what was your hook that you've been in a situation where you're like, you had maybe your woman or man, it ain't just men, that are dealing drugs, that are doing whatever out there. And you start having people coming over to your house that are dangerous people, right? That are going to be in a situation where your life is in danger. And you're like, what the hell are you doing? How did I get myself into this? You didn't even take me into consideration. You didn't even talk to me. That's very, very disrespectful and messed up. It's effed up. Okay. Let's fave that. And a lot of people go after the situation. You know what they call men, right? Being pussy whipped, right? Or women being dickmatized, right? That situation that you do everything in is love blind, that type of situation, right? And, that feeling in it's very powerful, very, very powerful. But is it true love when that person starts wanting you to do stuff that is unhealthy for you, that could cost them their life end up in prison or mess up maybe even career goals or objectives. That situation, right? How many people have been in a situation where, oh, I love you so much, and they show up at work when you break up with them, that you broke up with me, I'm gonna ruin your life, I'm gonna destroy you. And you're like, oh my God, that person must really love me, I want them back. And you're like, dude, get the hell away from me, right? So we look at, is it a situation of low self-esteem, low self-worth that gets individuals in these situations, right? And the statistics and all this stuff say there is a common element, right? Excuse me. There's a common element and theme that a lot of people might have that, but there are outliers as well that have been people very, have healthy self-esteems. They have a healthy sense of self, and they would never ever put themselves in a situation. And then that one person throws in. But a lot of people, with men and women, they look at it, they want to be that loyal, that guilt trip, maybe manipulated. Maybe they're guilt tripping, manipulating themselves in this situation. Well, if I really love that person, you know what? I would do this. You know what? If I was very loyal, and there's a very, very, very different level of being loyal to somebody and selling yourself out. Okay. We might do stuff we don't want to do, but is that going to end up dead? Or are we going to end up in prison? Are we going to end up in a unhealthy situation that's going to cost us our life, our dreams, our ambitions, our goals? Again, nothing is perfect, people. So you look at, what is the difference and what is your element of a ride or die situation? How many people maybe might be able to relate to what Vicky did and understand it, because maybe they've been in that situation before where, man, I've done some really stupid stuff. You know what? I took some heroin over for my boyfriend. I took some cocaine, to make her money over for my girlfriend or husband, wife, that situation. And you look back and you're like, what the hell was I thinking? That type of situation. Not bashing. This is not, I'm not about bashing. I'm not about, ripping apart people. Not at all. I'm looking at the essence that if you're in a situation like this and you're thinking about that, where are you going to get that help from and not be baited, not be manipulated, guilt tripped, or played in that situation, right? And you look at, oh, if you really love me, you do this. If you were really loyal to me, you're not loyal to me because you're not going to do this. You're not going to have my back. And you have to define what having somebody's back is. And I'm all about that, right? I'm all about, you've heard this many times, right? I'm looking at most people, not everybody, but most people want to feel loved. They want to feel respected. They want to feel desired. They want to feel important, appreciated, a priority, right? Most people want to feel those things. How those look, how they represent, how they're delivered, it's different for everybody, right? It's not a one size fits all, but you're looking at what is the hook? What are you getting out of the situation that makes you feel so euphoric in love, if you will, that you would do stuff that causes your own life, that causes you to maybe end up in jail, or to maybe help someone break out of prison or jail themselves, or do something that is, illegal, or something that is really going to mess up your life and make your life a living hell after that fact. I don't want, anybody in that situation, but I want people to look in the mirror and say, hey, what the hell am I doing? Why am I in this situation? And what am I going to do to come out of it? And, oh, let me talk to that person that wants me to do that. And are they going to be so smooth and so charismatic in this, men and women, right? Very charismatic, to suck you in and look at, oh, I really love you. I wouldn't ask you to do this if I really didn't love you. And, it's very, very good. And a lot of people use the word gaslighting a lot, or, narcissistic. And I did a little, maybe blurb a little video on, narcissistic, that it's way overused. But in these situations, is it, very, very selfish for that person to want you to be able to do that and to manipulate you into getting your own way. I've had clients over the years that, they might be in this situation. And, one comment, I had earlier this week or late last week from a client, Greg, I was never told no. This came from a female client, okay? And I get men, females. It's not a gender thing, people. It's looking at. When I was raised, my mama never told me no. My parents never told me no. I always got my way. And I'm like, oh my God, that's not good, healthy parenting, right? Are you raising these entitled people that they don't have compassion, they don't have empathy for anybody else? And why would you want to be in that situation? Is that real love because you feel it in our heart? I get that. Love is a feeling, right? But then we have to look at what is our gut telling us, our instincts, right? Our instinctual uh, vibe, if you will. What are they telling us? What is our mind telling us? And is our heart, sort of blinded, but our gut instinct is way over here saying, what the hell are you doing? Snap out of it, wake the hell up, and to, get out of this situation. And it's not easy. A lot of people that know that have been in domestic violence situations because I love her, I love him, Greg. And, the stat is it usually takes them on average 5 times to get away from that situation. 5 times on average to get that individual out of a unhealthy, toxic, abusive situation, right? Think about it, right? And there are some stats that even go as high as 7 years, but we'll say 5. So we look at, what is the hook? What is causing you to not look in the mirror and ask yourself, what the hell am I doing? Why would I even think about doing this? And, is this real love and how I define it? Not me. I'm talking looking in the mirror that you're asking yourself, how do you define love? Is it that thrill that, some people are adrenaline junkies and they always need that thrill and that hype, the excitement. So my life sucks and is boring and routine. Man, this is exciting. It's exciting. It's all this stuff, car chases, breaking out of prison or, oh my God, a drug deal. It's exciting. The thrill of it gets that hook going. And is that the hook? Versus do you look at the consequences of those actions? Okay, this is exciting. It's raw. It's real. It's, oh my God, it's euphoric. I love it, right? But do you look at what if the consequences, right? And I'm all about being positive, right? What if we tried this? Our relationship would flourish. I'd be a better person. I'd feel more loved, more respected. I'm all about that, right? But in these situations, we have to look at maybe the consequences. What if I end up dead? Would I be okay with that? Some people might be, right? I'll end up in jail or prison, right? I'll end up maybe losing my kids, my family for that other person, right? Single parents, single mothers, single fathers, right? You might end up losing your kids for them, right? Is that worth it? Is that a consequences? Are you going to end up maybe not being able to work anymore? And your idea of trying to find a job is being on Jerry Springer's show, being embarrassed, right? We know that's all scripted anyways. So we look at the consequences of our actions. If we do this, it might be exciting, thrill, but a lot of people don't look at, the what ifs. What if I get caught? What if I, end up dying? What if I end up paralyzed? What if I end up, not ever being able to find a job or a job I don't want anymore because now I have a felony, right? And yes, right. A lot of employers check for felonies. And I know a lot of people that are felons, they have a felony, they have decent jobs. It's not about that. Okay. People can change your life and get better and, sort of amend your mistakes. We're human, right? It's not about that. But I want you to have an easier time at that and look at these consequences to be able to look at what the hell am I doing? And if I do this, is this going to happen? Is this worth it? And I use a statement or a question with my clients all the time, individual, or if they're in a toxic relationship, is the juice worth the squeeze? Meaning, right? How many people make homemade juice, squeeze the oranges or maybe grapefruit juice or whatever? And it's a lot of work, right? That's why I say, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is the actions worth the outcome? You get me? So we look at these situations. A lot of people judge and, oh my God, Vicky was stupid. I can't believe she was crazy. And all these acronyms out there, right? We have to look at, what is going on And yes, I'm all about people taking accountability for their actions. Big time, right? I'm a huge advocate for having my clients take accountability for their actions, what they do, what they don't do to try to make their relationship better and to amend, and rebuild trust, to be humble and to own what they do and show remorse. I'm all about that. Okay. But let's be honest, right? I want you to hold yourself accountable and look at, man, if I do this, it's going to really mess up my life. Is that really my definition or my feeling of being loved? And now, do you reach out and get help if you have a hard time getting out of that situation? I'm not saying it's easy. I get it. I'm a realist. Okay. But I want you to be able to look at and try to reach out and get help with a counselor, or even maybe family members. And a lot of family members, right? They might have tried, left, and bent over backwards to try to help an individual, and they're still, fighting that addiction. They're still, selling drugs or being with a person that is abusing them emotionally, physically, right? And they've had so many people and they go back, right? They do a lot of stuff, they help them out, and then they get that help. No, I'm fine. They go back with that person in that toxic relationship, or they break it off with that person. They end up in another toxic relationship. And looking at your self worth, self esteem, and what that self love and self respect looks like that is causing you to be in that situation. Do you feel more alive? Again, right? The endorphins are very, and dopamine levels are very, very powerful. It's like a manic feeling, right? But you have to come down from that and look at, what the hell am I doing? And do I want the consequences if they happen? Okay. So check this out. Share this video. If you know somebody that is in a relationship like this, that is very toxic, very harmful for her or for him, share this video. Okay. And try to reach out and get help. And again, you know what? We can only reach out. I can't force anybody to get the help or to do something they don't want to do. That ain't me anyways. Okay. So check out my website, theartofrelationships.org, people. And you know what? Please, hit the like and the submit button down below on YouTube. Follow me on Facebook and, YouTube under Love Guru Greg. I'm all over social media as well under Love Guru Greg. The audio version of the Art of Relationships show can be found on every listening platform. Just do a search, the Art of Relationships show. Okay. Peace and love, everybody. Everybody take care.